Something that you said in our conversation, um, one of our conversation where you said like, I like people to think bigger or wider as opposed to linear. Can you just explain that to me?
Yeah. There's a documentary, I think it's even on Netflix, about how the right side and the left brain is very linear, and in our society is the same, where the train comes every day at 12:13 and 12:43. Everything is repetitive for maximum efficiency. But the right side of the brain, and also much more associated with the feminine characteristics, is understanding the kind of the connections that actually, if you go in this direction, it might not be the quickest route, but it's much more scenic. You get to stop at the bakery. There's a lot more. And I think, especially when you're looking at achieving something in a room with people, and as much as you do, you can't imagine how finance and legal can help you, have employee retention. There's a million ways that you can probably think of. So I think it's understanding how we support each other, and how sometimes it might seem like doing something there isn't the most efficient thing, but actually it differentiates what you're doing and it strengthens it. So I think a lot of people work straight down the line and let's go there, but my belief isn't about efficiency. It's about innovation, but also momentum. And I think if you want momentum, it is truthfully about the more that's coming along with you to join you, the stronger it is, and actually the more multifaceted. I also, because again, what I do is sort of marketing, and it's about different layers of the brain. So whether you're thinking about wellness or what are you thinking about fashion, it's about the different sensory levels that you're reinforcing those messages on. And it isn't, again, the message isn't about profit. It's about the understanding and the way you're connecting with people. But again, you've got so many different angles I think we could play to that, and sensory to me are my natural go-tos. But
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you how, because you've done some amazing campaigns, marketing campaigns for brands. I mean, I've seen some of the things that you've done in terms of like the hospitality sector, and seeing some of the things that you're doing in movement, but we'll get to that. And I wanted to ask you how you bring that into your area of work when you're actually creating these marketing campaigns, because our audience here, most of them are entrepreneurs, some of them are solopreneurs who are trying to not just build a company brand, but to build a personal brand. Some of these audiences, perhaps don't have the huge budget, but there is something in what you've said with this approach to, going wider, where it's more about quality and you're creating momentum there. Like, can you tell us a little bit about how you bring that when you are running campaigns
and I think when the going laterally is about also not going it alone. And I think necessarily whenever I say, okay, you're founding a brand, I think you think about the larger alignments you have. So whether you're doing a hair salon and you then start to think about, could I do like a barbershop salon kind of podcast in my salon? What ways could I do? Could I have a women's writers group? There's lots of different things you can align yourself to go, look, my budget is non-existent, but I can sit here and come up with 10 ways that I could help support other people for mutual benefit. So I think I never take credit for doing anything by myself. When you're working with a photographer, the first conversation you'll have is, here's what I'm seeing and what could we do? And you're opening the floor up there. When you're working with graphic designers, you give them a rough steer and you're like, surprise me. Here's the problem and you're solving it. And then it's bish bash back and forth. So I think for me, it's always allowing people to have fun with an idea, but giving them something and saying, look, I don't want to prescribe you exactly what to do, but we're going to give each other something here. And I find that you always get something a lot more interesting if it's 1+1 instead of you just kind of orbiting in your sphere, because self-praise is no praise at all, and I think it's really about, that connecting with the community.